Hello everyone and welcome back to Melek'le channel. Today I'm going to show you a super easy way to clean beef or cow tripe. Let's get right into it. Hope you enjoy. Right now I've got half a beef tripe in my hands. It's been partially cleaned, but honestly, it's still pretty dirty. This isn't a whole tripe, it's just one half. I'd already frozen the other half and tried cleaning it before. If you've been following my channel, you'll know I have a bunch of different tripe cleaning videos. I've tried freezing and cleaning with lime, even cleaning with calcium tablets, but today I'm going to show you how to clean it nicely using just hot water and lemon. So first I'm filling a pot with enough water and putting it on the stove to boil. While that's heating up, I'm grabbing about 8 small limes. These are quite tiny, so I'm using 8 of them. If you're using larger lemons, the juice of 4 will be enough. One beef tripe usually needs about this much lemon juice. I squeeze the limes and fill up a glass with the juice. Then, once the water starts boiling, I pour that fresh lime juice right in. As the water begins to boil and the lemon mixes in, I don't add any salt just yet. We'll do that later. Now that the water is boiling nicely, I turn off the heat and set it aside. While that cools down a bit, I start cutting the tripe into pieces. You don't want to throw the tripe straight into boiling water while it's still whole, otherwise it'll toughen up instantly. So we'll let the hot water sit for 5 minutes or so before we use it. In the meantime, I'm cutting the tripe into smaller chunks using scissors or a knife. Whatever's easier for you works just fine. Beef tripe is tougher and more difficult to clean, to be honest. Compared to that, tripe from smaller animals is way easier. You can just soak it in lukewarm water, no effort at all. I even have a video about that on my channel. You just pop the tripe into a freezer bag, let it freeze overnight, and then take it out the next morning. Rub it under running water like you're washing clothes. It all comes off beautifully. But beef tripe? Definitely harder to deal with. Anyway, as you can see, I'm now pouring the lemon water over the tripe, and it's already starting to break down the gunk on the surface. Remember how black and grimy the tripe looked before? After soaking in hot lemon water for about 10 minutes, you'll start to see it loosen up. Some people don't even remove that outer layer, they just give it a rinse and use it as is. I've never done that myself, but I have close friends who prepare it that way and don't mind the outer coating. Of course, it's up to you, but in our tradition, we prefer to really clean that top layer off and get it nice and tidy. Now that the tripe's been soaking in the hot water for 10 minutes, I'm going in with a knife to thoroughly clean it. Since this video is all about cleaning the tripe, I've sped up the footage for you guys 8 times speed, so you don't have to sit through the whole process. By this point, the tripe has softened, so it's easier to clean. You can use a knife or even a spoon, a serrated knife, a regular knife, a sharp one, it really doesn't matter. In some areas, the outer skin of the tripe peels right off with your hands. Other spots are tougher and need a knife. It definitely takes time, no matter how easy we say it is. Dipping it in and out of water won't clean it thoroughly. You really have to scrub it. And because this is part of the stomach, it does come with its own risks, so it's important to clean it very well. We need to be sure it's safe and ready to eat. In my next video, God willing, I'll show you how to make gözleme using this tripe. I was actually planning to include both the cleaning and the recipe in one video, but it would have been way too long. So instead, I've split it up. In this video, we're just cleaning the tripe, and in the next one, I'll show you how to make delicious tripe gözleme. Stay tuned for that. For the areas where the knife can't quite reach, just apply a bit more force, push through and clean it out thoroughly. You can also try this method instead. Since cow tripe and veal tripe are quite thick, they have a very thin membrane beneath that dark outer layer. Once you grip that membrane from the edge, the acidity from the lemon softens it up and you can slowly pull it back. Honestly, it peels off like a thin sheet, like skinning it almost. That layer comes off super easily. This method is really effective for cow tripe, but with small livestock like sheep, it doesn't work as well because their tripe is already small and not meaty. And look here, I just peeled off a large piece and barely anything's left. You can do it like this too. So I've now shown you both methods, one using a knife to scrape and the other by pulling off that thin skin layer cleanly. Some parts clean off really quickly and easily, others can be more stubborn. For the tougher spots, there's usually a little corner you can grab. Once you get a hold of it, it just starts tearing on its own and you can easily peel it back. If you want, you can wear gloves during this whole cleaning process. Personally, I don't really enjoy cooking with gloves on, it just doesn't feel comfortable for me. I only wear them for certain recipes where I feel like it's necessary. But of course that's completely up to you, especially during this stage where you're handling the sticky residue, gloves might come in handy. So now one of these is completely clean. I peeled half of it and scraped the other half with a knife, and both sides turned out spotless, beautifully white like snow. At this stage, once I've cleaned each piece, I use a paper towel to wipe off any leftover residue in the tray. If I don't, the scraps stick to the clean parts, and then when I rinse, it gets messy again. Also, when the tripe is slightly wet, it tends to slide around in the tray. Wiping it keeps everything dry and neat. Now I'm on to the last and biggest piece. Just like before, I grabbed it from the edge and started peeling. If it tears along the way, no worries, just keep going from where it left off. It's honestly so simple. Once you find that first dead layer of skin, the rest peels off easily and quickly. You won't even need to scrape it. And once it's peeled, you'll see how much whiter and cleaner that part is. Alright, now I've squeezed the juice of the last 3 out of the 8 lemons, and I'm adding plenty of salt, about 3 or 4 tablespoons. I've placed the clean tripe into a large basin, then I poured the lemon juice over it. It can be lime or lemon, doesn't matter. On top of that, I added 4 tablespoons of salt. Now I've boiled some water in the kettle, but I don't pour it over right away. I wait for 3 minutes after it's boiled, then I pour it over the tripe. I also toss in all the squeezed lemon peels into the water, and I let everything soak in this mixture for about 25 minutes. After that, I'll rinse it thoroughly under running water. I added both the lemon juice and the peels to make sure it's extra clean and hygienic. No worries about health or cleanliness here. As you can see, I've done all of this on camera. These last bits underneath will be cleaned up now too. I'll rub them down with lemon under running water and get rid of those yellow patches. What really matters is removing that top layer, the residue. Once that's off, everything else becomes easier to clean. And look how clean and bright they are now, sparkling white. I've rinsed, cleaned, and drained everything under the faucet. The tripe is now ready. You can boil it, fry it, whatever you like, but I recommend boiling it first, then frying. That way it tastes way better. There are 2 or 3 different tripe recipes on my channel. There's soup, restaurant-style tripe, and more. In the next video, I'll be sharing my tripe gözleme recipe, inshallah. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next recipe. Take care. Bye-bye.